Welcome back, Saints, to another week of SFHS Today. I'm Maki.
And I'm Chii. You may have noticed the SFCDA in our lunches promoting safe driving.
They make an appearance every year during prom week. Keegan and Dylan got more information about the drug awareness campaign.
Hi, I'm Michelle Anderson. I am the chairperson of the SFCDA. The SFCDA is for the St. Francis Community for Drug Awareness. We started 3 years ago and have been working on education and awareness within the community. Drug Awareness Week, this is the second year we've done Drug Awareness Week. Our goals are to help remind students of the dangers and just get some good reminders out there before prom week. Could be one of the deadliest and most dangerous weekends for Minnesota youth. Sometimes people forget to make good choices, and we just want to help remind you because we want everyone to come back to school on Monday and everyone to be safe and have a good prom.
There are a lot of kids out there, believe it or not, that have not seen drugs, and our main goal is to get those kids to see what these drugs look like in case they come across them, so they know that they're an illegal substance, and to educate people on what these drugs are going to do, what the consequences would be, what your charging would be, and just so they can really see what things look like as far as the illegal prescription drugs and the illegal street drugs. I will be at prom on Saturday, so I will see anybody who is at prom Saturday. You may or may not see me, but I will see you. And I suggest that you don't do any alcohol, drugs, anything illegal, because you will be found. The drug display box that we brought here today all the items inside of it were found from people in St. Francis. So if you think that you can hide from it, you can't. And it's best if you don't even start that stuff and just set a good example for all the kids that'll be watching.
Speaking of prom, the King and Queen will be announced at Grand March on Saturday. Grand March begins at 4:30 in the gym. This year's theme is Diamond City.
Nominees for Prom King in no particular order are Lenny Pilarski, Aaron Lorenzen, Matthew Olson, Jordan Olson, and Mason Blees. Queen candidates are Katrina Miller, Airly Lorenzen, Natalie Washi, Ashley Partika, and Kylie Amundsen. This year, prom will be held at the Courtyards of Andover. In other news, Drumline finished off their season with a bang. They took fourth at Minnesota Percussion Association finals held at St. Cloud State. Let's go to Tim with more details.
The winter drumline season has been really good. We've taken second a couple times and third a couple times, so I'm really proud of the group so far this year. So we prepare all season. When we get to a competition, I don't really do much. It's all them, and that's what we've practiced and rehearsed every rehearsal. So once we get there, it's the ball's in their court, and they take it from there. We've had plenty of rock stars in the group. There's not really one in particular, but everybody has definitely stepped up from past years, and I'm really proud of our improvement, and we've really taken some great strides this year.
Speaking of cool events, the Mixed Blood Theater was definitely fired up the night the teacher took the firehouse down in Minneapolis. There were several teachers from all over the state who came to watch or perform at the theater. We go to Jolie for more information.
Teachers Take the Firehouse was part of a series that the Mixed Blood Theater Company put on, where they brought in teachers from around the Twin Cities to recite poetry, talk about their experiences, and it was just an opportunity to give voice to teachers who oftentimes in our day and age don't have a lot of voice in the decisions that are being made about education. And I think the thing that we can learn is that every teacher does have a story to tell, and we need to value their experience, because that experience in their own environment really does inform the way they teach.
And I think that allowing teachers to have a voice in sharing any kind of story, any kind of personal experience can help other teachers in understanding that they're not alone, and also can help educators kind of connect in those personal experiences.
Once upon a time,
Teaching was an honorable profession. Kids went to school, they learned a lesson. Now we want a one-size-fits-all solution, a savior for our educational institutions. We'll cut off toes and heels to have it, but we'll still have a shoe that doesn't fit it.
I've learned to embrace my abnormality. I'm a math and dog-loving vegan alcoholic. I've been told not to open with that. But that's who I am at the core. I don't naturally fit into many social circles, but I am fiercely committed to those I call friends. But the rehearsal at the beginning went really well, and I felt really good about it, and it kind of calmed my nerves, and it was a great experience.
I don't know that students always understand how much their teachers care for them. But that came out across the board, that people, they care about their students as human beings, and they care about those little lives that they have in their hands. And
Student Council is looking for new members. People interested in running were supposed to have flyers in this week.
This week's 5 Minutes of Fame is President of Student Council, Camille Zupfer.
Student celebrities everywhere. This is why you should care about 5 Minutes of Fame.
For the president, you're in charge of making the agendas for each week, because we have a meeting every Wednesday. And then also you're kind of overseeing your whole council, and when it comes to little committee meetings and little committees and stuff, you kind of just oversee those. And then also for the big things that we do is vice president and president have to coordinate the Pep Fest. So when we do those, that's all council oriented, coordinated. So I'd like to, if I could find someone to run with. I think it's a really fun position, and I love student council, so I want to keep with it as long as I can. Most definitely. It's a really cool leadership role that you can do, and it sounds like it might be a lot of work, and at times it can be, but it's a lot of work that as soon as it's done, it's awesome, and then you just have a lot of fun doing it. I'm in NHS, and I did tennis in the fall.
Camille is a wonderful leader in many ways. She's great at coming up with her own ideas and organizing them. She's good at harnessing everybody else's best talents and bringing them together to work collaboratively. She's in charge of making the agenda and coordinating with me as the advisor to kind of figure out what needs to happen. As president of the council, she needs to not just think about any particular tasks she's in charge of, like maybe making a Pep Fest happen. She's in charge of thinking, what are all of the other things that everybody else will have to do 3 months from now, and what are the checkpoints that they should basically be ready with, so that she can help guide them for them to come to those conclusions on their own.
Seniors, caps and gowns are in the building. Make sure you pick them up today during lunch. There may be new standards for graduation dress code. We will follow up in the next few weeks to let people know what the expectations are. I know I can't wait to graduate, but you still have another year until you're legally an adult, right, Chii?
Right. And while we're on a legal topic, last week I attended a meeting about Dylan Yang, a 16-year-old in the Hmong community in Wisconsin, who was recently charged with murder in the stabbing death of another teen, 13-year-old Isaiah Powell. Yang's case has been in all the major news outlets lately, and there has been controversy going around the guilty verdict. Yang was charged with murder, although his lawyers argued self-defense. Last Friday, there was a meeting in Minneapolis to discuss the issue, and many leaders in the Hmong community spoke about working to get an appeal and legal support for Yang.
Basically, we're just coming all together. A lot of people who really care about this case and want to help Dylan out. Everyone is just coming together from all over Minnesota, and where we have people representing Dylan and talking and speaking for Dylan in California, Ohio, Wisconsin. We have a lot of people all over the states that are helping us. We even have the Black Lives Matter, who said that they will back us up when we do this rally, and they will be there with us too. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal, and we just really want to raise awareness. And so meeting every Friday in St. Paul, everyone who wants to come help Dylan can come and just raise awareness. We're going to start doing a lot lot of fundraisers, a lot of fundraising, a lot of free community stuff to just bring awareness to Dylan and try to make as much money as we can so that we can help Dylan and get him a really good lawyer, and we're just trying to help him.
Continuing with our Senior Spotlight segment, this week we have Laura Wyatt, who is very involved with 4-H and was a state ambassador this year. Mason went out to shine a light on the subject.
4-H is a youth development organization. I normally describe it to people as like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts put mixed together and a lot more fun. So it's more focused on like the leadership aspect and gaining like more like real life skills. So I've been in 4-H since kindergarten. So this is my 13th year, and then you can be in it through a year past high school graduation, and I plan on doing that. And then since June, I've been a Minnesota 4-H state ambassador. So you don't have to do livestock. Like I have cows, but the livestock aspect has never really appealed to me, so I've never done it. My favorite project areas like at the county fair are like quilting and like soil sciences and crop sciences, and then for like the other part of 4-H with like the leadership and citizenship aspect, I applied to be a state ambassador last year and I got that role. And then so last week I went to the National Service Learning Conference with some of the state ambassadors, and we presented there, and yeah, it was fun.
Reporters Tracy Klein and Hannah Beckman went over to Cedar Creek Elementary School for a second segment of elementary education.
They asked them about high school and prom. Let's see what they found out.
Excited because I want to learn new things. Science, math, anything that I can learn like to help me with school, like math and all that.
Doing stuff?
Bad?
You think high school's bad?
Yeah. Of course it's not. I learned lots of stuff in high school. Boring. That's not boring. In kindergarten, you learn fun stuff. Like, they go to school, and then, like, afterwards they might, like, play tennis and have after-school activities and stuff. And then they might, like, have a job, and they might, like, help their parents out. And
like what?
Like, they might have, like, a little job. Like, they might help their parents out a little. They might, like, babysit. Curly hair. Dye my hair blue. It's like a dance that you go to with someone.
You guys are at high school. Are you guys going to ask girls to prom?
No. No.
You're not going to ask a girl to prom?
Nope. Dance, get crowned queen and prince. Like same thing, like dance, be crowned prom queen, prom king.
Do girls have cooties?
Stay tuned for weather and random question thing.
Friday with a high of 36 degrees. It's going to be gusty out there.
Saturday with prom is going to be a high of 42, a low of 31, partly cloudy.
On Sunday you're looking at a high of 54. It's going to be raining.
Have a great weekend, Saints.
It's the random question thing. Ding.
I was at Olive Garden and I had a sneeze and I was chewing my food and I sneezed all over her and she called her mom and got picked up. So that's probably the worst day in my life.
I've never been on a date.
I reached down to pick something up and my pants ripped.
And he wasn't wearing any underwear.
What's a date?
I almost went on a date with my boyfriend's twin brother because they look a lot alike, and I got confused.
So one time I was at B-Dubs, and this girl came up to me and she's like, wow, you're really cute, and I was like, thanks. Anyways, I got her number, and I took her on a date. We went to Culver's, and I was like, you know, I gotta try to dress to impress. So So I put a super small, like medium shirt on, trying to make my biceps look really big. Well, ended up being a little too small. I was showing a little belly, kind of like flexed a little bit, and she never really gave me a call back after that, but I thought it looked pretty good.
See you next week, Saints.